Happy 2016! Today I wanted to make a video about the different room types. There are many different room types at Disney World, so it's a little bit different than booking a regular hotel room where you only have a couple of options. And there are different options depending on where you're staying as well as the category of hotel. So for example, I printed out the different room options for the values, moderates, and deluxes. And for the values, I have a little less than 2 pages of info. For the moderates, I have 4 pages, and for the deluxes, I have 8 pages. So there's definitely a lot of choices. Now, for all 3 resorts, the least expensive room type that is possible to book is a standard view room. However, what your view is in a standard view room is going to be different depending on where you're staying. So just to pick one from each category, for example, a standard view room at Pop Century gives you views of the resort, hotel, or parking area, whereas the standard view room of Caribbean Beach gives you views of the resort, hotel, courtyard, or woodlands. And then the standard view room of the Polynesian would give you views of the garden, pool, marina, monorail, or parking area. And some of these would be partial, might be partial, you might have like a part marina view, and it's not just necessarily facing something directly. But like you can see, there's a different definition of standard based on where you're staying. Now, you can go on my website or the Disney World website and see the different options for the resort or resorts that you're considering staying at, and see the different room types, because like I said, they're different no matter where you stay. Many of the larger value and moderate resorts have the option to stay in a preferred room. And what this is that you can pay a little bit extra and be guaranteed to be in a building that is closer to the main building, food court, that sort of thing. So you can make a request otherwise, but the only way you're gonna get into a preferred room is if you pay for a preferred room. The only way to guarantee it. Like I said, we can make requests, and Disney does try their best to honor them, but they're just requests. So you can actually look at the resort maps and see which buildings are preferred. And then you can say, oh, hey, I don't want to pay for a preferred room, but I would like to request one of the following 3 buildings, and that's closer to the preferred section. And like I said, they'll try their best, but the only way to guarantee it is to actually get a preferred room in that case. So that kind of goes over views as well as locations of rooms. Then there are also number of people per room, and that is something that I think is also a little bit confusing to people. And I mean, this is a lot of information, and it's different from any other hotel, so it's still confusing to me as well sometimes. But if a room will tell you how many people it sleeps. So for example, under Pop Century standard room, it says 2 double beds or 1 king bed, sleeps up to 4 adults. If you have 4 adults, they're going to make sure you have a room with 2 double beds, because you're not going to sleep 4 adults in 1 king bed. Now, if you have a child that is under 3, not 3, but under 3, they are allowed to be added to that room as well. So it'll say sleeps up to 4 adults. You can have a child that is 0, 1, or 2 in there as well. But like I said, the only way to guarantee a bed choice is just like getting in a preferred building, paying for it. So the only way you can guarantee a certain bed type is to book, say maybe a king bedroom, if that's an option. Some resorts it's an option, some it's not. You can request that, or like I said, if you have 4 adults, they're going to make sure that you get 2 double beds. They're not going to put 4 adults in a room with 1 king bed, if that makes sense. Let's see. Okay, so there are a couple of resorts as well that have bunk size pull-down beds as an option. So for example, Caribbean Beach Resort has them potentially in their standard view room, their water or pool view room, and their preferred room. They're also at Port Orleans Riverside. Now these beds, it can sleep a person. So for example, it'll say 2 queen beds or 2 queen beds and 1 bunk size pull-down bed. This is the time when you kind of have to figure it out for yourself. So some of these rooms, if it has 2 queen beds and a bunk size pull down bed, will sleep 5 people. However, something to keep in the back of your mind is a bunk size pull down bed is 63 inches long by 30 inches wide. So they say it's really good for a child that's 9 and under, but that's obviously going to differ by child. You could have an older child that's smaller or a younger child that's bigger, and it's not going to work. It might or might not work for them. So just keep that in mind. If you see bunk size pull down bed, they'll give it to you if you have, if you have 5 people, but it's your responsibility to know that the beds are only 30 inches wide by 63 inches long. So the bunk size pull down beds is a little confusing there. Lastly, there are, like I said, a lot of room choices at the deluxe resorts. And this is because the deluxe resorts also have their regular room category, but then they also have their club level rooms, which I'm sure I've talked about before. And the club level rooms give you access to, you have your own concierge up there. You don't have to use the concierge in the main lobby, potentially have a little bit longer of a line. So you have your own concierge up there. You do have some food options. You have a nightly turn down service. So there are a couple of perks of that. It is quite a bit more expensive than a regular room. I did do a little bit of a club level tour of the club level lounge when I did my Wilderness Lodge video, so you can check that out if you're interested. But that is why there are so many more room options at deluxes. And Animal Kingdom Lodge is insane. They actually just recently reduced the number of room options they had. So, okay, I'm gonna read these off quick. So Animal Kingdom Lodge, you have a standard view room, a pool view with bunk beds, a Savannah view, and a Savannah view with bunk beds. Those are the regular rooms. Then they have the club level rooms, which are a Savannah view club level room, standard view 1-bedroom suite with club level, 1-bedroom suite with club level, and a 2-bedroom suite with club level. So that is a lot of room choices, and that's significantly more than the 1, 2, 3, 4 at Pop Century or 3 choices at All Star Music. So I really encourage you to look up these room types before you decide you want to stay, before you put in your request, I should say, for a quote saying you want to stay somewhere. Figure out which room type works for you and which one you're thinking of. Because if you pay for a standard view room but actually want a view of one of the Savannahs at Animal Kingdom Lodge, you're not going to get it. You have to pay for the Savannah view room. Lastly, I wanted to mention that at the value resorts and at the moderate resorts, there are no rooms in the main building. They're all in separate outer buildings. Now in the deluxe resorts, there's kind of a mixture. So for example, you have, like the Polynesian has no rooms in the main building. The Grand Floridian has some rooms in the main building. That would be their main building club level. Then they have separate buildings. And then in addition, they have a club level and an outer building. And there's one outer building with club level. And then all the other buildings are their regular rooms. Wilderness Lodge only has one building, aside from the villas. They only have one building, and the club level rooms are on the top floor. So that's a little bit different too, as far as the buildings and whatnot. But like I said, only deluxe resorts and only certain deluxe resorts have rooms in the main building. So I know this is very confusing. So the moral of the story, very long story short, is when you're choosing your resort, check your room types. Go online and check out your room types because there's a ton of information there and there's probably more than you ever thought or maybe even care to know. So I hope you found this helpful and thanks for watching. Bye.